just as evidence of this culture war stuff coming from the right. You know the story about the drunken judge crashing the New Zealand First Party? It is it's titillation. It's a nothing story. It's a slow news day. Yeah, some judge got a bit pissed up and walked into another room from a wealthy, after work drinks thing and basically gave Winston Peters some stick. That's the story. Some pissed up rich person went and shouted at some other pissed up rich people. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Karen Plunket's Twitter feed. Unbelievable. Sean Plunket, drunk judge, crashes New Zealand First Party. The next story. Do you think TV1 RNZ News will cover the drunk judge and KC gate crashing? Number 3, all in a row. I wonder if the Law Society investigates its own at the Northern Club involving Winston Peters, a KC and a district. This is the culture war. This is the example of the people in this kind of circle being involved in the culture war. This is a nothing story. It's a nothing story. It's an embarrassment to the organisations, to the judiciary, absolutely. But it's a nothing story. And this pile of pancake batter is playing culture war games and not just amplifying it or talking about, but like, I bet you TV1 doesn't cover this because, woke and protect, they did, as did stuff, because it's a slow news day. It's a nothing story. And it's just evidence again for everyone that these culture war games that we keep getting accused of on the left, we don't play them anywhere near as much as the right does. But the right has the skill that for some reason they're able to paint the narrative they want and it sticks.
I saw a really interesting...
Luxon was able to say the 15-year-olds at school last year are underperforming and it's Labor's fault. And it stuck. It wasn't true. The reason those 15-year-olds were underperforming was thanks to John Key in 2011 bringing in national standards. When he brought them in, the teaching community in one voice said, if you do this, in 10 to 15 years from now, this is what you'll see. And it's what we saw with 15-year-olds. But the right managed to sell the narrative that it's Labor's fault. And it was believed. The right sells the narrative, those woke, tarred, lefty, culture war, all they care about is listing genders and being snowflakes. We're not doing that story tonight. Not because, look at those wokies won't talk about, because it's a bullshit story. A couple of pissed up rich people had a crack verbally at a couple of other pissed up rich people. Okay, be embarrassed. Get over yourselves. Chewie.
I saw a really interesting piece talking about why the right seems to focus on these cultural war issues so much.
Yeah.
And with such intensity. And it was framed around the shooting of the health insurance CEO. And I thought it made some really interesting points. The reason that they focus on these things is, at face value, like there's people that just don't get trans issues, gay issues, pronouns, all of that sort of thing. They find it confusing. It's straight away there is an instant uptick where people go, yeah, I don't get it. But there doesn't bring that fear to it. The reason that they focus on these issues is because when you get into left-wing economics, more people are going to agree than disagree.
We win.
They can't debate in that space.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we were talking about when we were talking about the Greens tax plan with Chloe the other night.
Yeah.
Is like, unless you're that person that's pulling $150,000 a year, it's not going to affect you. You want to pay taxes, and that's fine as long as you seem to get good value for your taxes, and that could be, less crime. That could be better hospitals. Your kids are at really nice schools and they're learning well. Like, if all of that stuff is going, then who really gives a shit how much tax you're paying?
Yeah.
That's why when you look at countries with high taxation, like as we all always talk about the Scandinavian countries, with amazing schooling, low crime, high taxation, people can see the value in it. You get into that economic conversation from a left and a right point of view, everyone's going to agree. So we can't talk about that. We've got to talk about something else. These guys on the left, like sometimes you can't even tell that they're guys. You know, they've got the blue hair and they're talking about the pronouns. It's all fucking confusing. And aren't they weird? That's what we're going to talk about. Because if we talk about the left-right break, we're not talking about the top and bottom break.
Yeah.
That's why these guys latch onto it. Do I think that Plunket is a fucking mastermind and he's trying to fight back against that entire system? No, I think he's an idiot in the declining years and the tatters of his career. And all he is doing is farming that rage for personal enrichment to make himself feel like he's in the middle of a movement, but it definitely benefits people 2 or 3, 4 stations above him.
And I think he is in the middle of
David Seymour. Absolutely.
He is in the middle of a movement. It's just a bowel movement is where he pretty much sits with his stuff.
You never see the bucket that's sitting under his gaming chair that he's got there.